Some suggestions on which Thomas Hardy novels to read, according to which other well-known authors and novels you may already like. If you're a fan of Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, then you will likely enjoy the locale and the ambience of The Return of the Native, with its overall mysterious mood and frequent intimations of the supernatural. As in Wuthering Heights, the setting is a lonely, windswept heath, and Thomas Hardy is recalling the heath that he and his mother used to walk across in his childhood. If you are fond of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, you may find The Woodlanders to your liking. In similar fashion, a devoted man has been in love with the same woman for a very long time, even after she married someone else. And when he, quite needlessly, dies trying to protect her good name, she decides to move away together with her adulterous husband, whom she earlier intended to leave. If you like the story of Mary Ann in Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility, where she ignores the attentions of a practical and protective suitor, and instead falls in love with a beguiling, unscrupulous rogue, only to realize later that the dependable man is a more reasonable choice, then you will find parallels in the conduct of Bathsheba Everdeen in Thomas Hardy's Far from the Madding Crowd. If you're keen on Shakespeare's tragedies and the concept of a fatal flaw which brings about the ultimate undoing of a hero, you will love The Mayor of Casterbridge, which has often been compared to King Lear because of the superb depiction of its tragic principal character. And if you appreciate the general premise of Shakespeare's romance The Tempest, in which a young woman has lived a sheltered life with her father, and then she falls in love with the first young man who visits their secluded location, you will find similar circumstances in Thomas Hardy's romance A Pair of Blue Eyes. If you're enchanted by the historical backdrop of Tolstoy's War and Peace, you will no doubt relish Thomas Hardy's The Trumpet Major, which is set in the same era of Napoleonic Wars. If you admire George Eliot, you'll be interested to know that Thomas Hardy's love story Two on a Tower was inspired by the words of Maggie Tulliver in The Mill on the Floss about astronomers who don't like women to distract them from their work in their observatories. And if you were moved by the story in George Eliot's Adam Bede about a pretty milkmaid seduced by a rich landowner, you will find a situation akin to that in Thomas Hardy's Tess of the D'Urbervilles. If you're intrigued by the story of Nabokov's Lolita, in which a young girl turns the tables on a disturbingly obsessed man, you will find a somewhat comparable motif in Thomas Hardy's The Well-Beloved, which is similarly eerie and disquieting but without the violence and sordidness. If you're partial to crime fiction, you'll be captivated by the thrilling plot of Thomas Hardy's page-turner Desperate Remedies. And if you like comedies, especially those involving disguises, imposters, and mistaken identities, you might enjoy The Hand of Ethelberta, which Thomas Hardy subtitled A Comedy in Chapters.